Okay, my name is Mark Rogers. I'm an oil painter. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Hey, everybody. I've been painting since 2009. I got into painting a little later in life when I was around 30, but I've been a lifelong drawer of many things, mostly aliens. When I first picked up a paintbrush, I think I had one of those past life experiences where I felt like maybe I had painted before. There was just something about it that just really clicked for me. And I fell in love with painting and have been doing it like every day for many, many hours ever since. Actually, I think it was because I was raised Catholic. My parents were really interested in taking me to this gigantic building filled with candles where there was like this statue of this guy who was nailed to a cross, but he was actually a ghost who was alive. And that's what got me really interested in the paranormal, probably. I've been interested in aliens and Bigfoot and um, parapsychology, ESP, all that stuff ever since I was a baby. But it probably started with being raised very Catholic growing up, and probably my interest in art began around the same time because as magical as it all was, it was super boring to go to church, and they had a lot of really cool and scary paintings at the church that we went to. They had the Stations of the Cross paintings. In the Stations of the Cross are 12 paintings that tell a sequential story of this guy who gets killed by these Romans. But I don't follow Catholicism anymore, but it did get me really interested in um, making scary paintings about scary paranormal things. Okay, my process for making paintings is this. I usually work in sets of 9 paintings that all tell a story around one narrative. And I'll usually start off the process by doing a weird tarot exercise that I invented a while back, where I'll pull cards for the setting, the character, the story, the conflict, and the mood or theme of the paintings. So, based on the magic that the tarot has to tell me, I'll kind of come up with a vague story and then I'll write a little outline for the story. And then, based on this outline, I'll go through and I'll try to populate a storyboard with different thumbnails that tell the story. And then, once I've got a storyboard made, I'll paint them in like 3 at a time. I'll go through and I'll paint each one of these series. So the Southwestern Bellows is the magical land where all my paintings take place. It's kind of looks like California in the Southwest, but it actually takes place on a different planet. It's sort of like Narnia or, Middle Earth, but it's actually more Western themed. And instead of elves, they're aliens. And that's the Southwestern Bellows. It's only about 172 years old. There are Zetoreticulons are gray aliens there, and they eat gold and steal nightmares. And there are many pioneering people. About half of them can read. They get into a lot of adventures, and I paint about these characters. And I love going into this magical place in my mind. It's fun. I don't remember how I actually came up with the idea. I think I received the idea from aliens that beamed this information into my mind while I was meditating. Um, I don't actually think I even came up with this place. It's probably a real place, but um, but I've just been privy to the images which have come through during my meditations. I did see a UFO in 2009. It was not an event that changed my life, but I did see one and it was pretty cool. I was in Springfield, Oregon with my ex-wife, and we were like walking to the store for just some crap. I don't know. It was just like a summer day, a really boring summer day, and we were just walking to the store. But all of a sudden, we see this orange sort of thing that kind of looked like a fireball, but it was not fire. It was more like a magical sort of energy. It was about the size of a VW bug, and it just cruised by on our right side, really low, just over the telephone lines. It was very close to us, and it just kind of cruised by at like maybe 30 miles an hour. We just kind of watched it go. We saw it disappear behind the trees after a little while, and we just like looked at each other and we were like, what? So we bought a telescope, and that summer we spent the rest of the summer just looking, trying to find like something like that. But we never saw anything like that again. And that was the year I started painting. So within the Southwestern Bellows world, um, I've typically been working, um, viewing it as an anthology series. So all of the stories are connected, but there is no real key story. I would, however, say that everything that happens in this one town of Sunfort is those are the most important stories for some reason. There are a couple overarching elements in the Southwestern Bellows, like there are the Zeta Reticulon Greys, which have brought humans from the pioneering 1850s into that world for the purpose of a hybridization program. Then there are also reptilians that live there too. And the reptilians have a very small amount of agents living in this area called the Snake Hell Desert. And there is another mothership floating around, orbiting the planet, and they really want to get down onto the mainland to pretty much dominate the planet. But there is a force field that is preventing reptilians from getting onto the planet. So there's a rivalry between the Zeta Reticulans, which control the force field, and the reptilians. So that is one of the underlying stories, one of the deeper stories within the narrative. But for the most part, it is an anthology series. And yeah.